Winston to Evans, double covered, overthrown into the end zone. And the 2-minute warning, but a flag has been thrown in the end zone, and now a second marker goes down. And it's Evans that has to be separated from the officials by Martin, and he may have been ejected. He has been. Mike Evans ejected from the game. Frustration setting in big time here. Roman Harper was battling him.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 13 for disrespectfully addressing an official. Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 13 for disrespectfully addressing an official, and number 13 is disqualified from the contest.
And leaving the field is Mike Evans, 4 catches, 99 yards, and here it was. Norman was out of the picture there, and those two got on it, remember, toward the end of the first half as well.
Third, we'll call it a yard. And again, the Broncos are 3 and out. Off the fingertips of Stokely. Just making an appeal.
Brandon Stokely wants pass interference, rightly so. Oh, they threw a flag on sportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, Stokely, the flag thrown by that back judge who he ran down.
Will Witherspoon, anytime you're a defender.
Ran after, I should say.
You're a defender and you stop the progress of the wide receiver or turning, that is pass interference. And I thought Will Witherspoon definitely turned Brandon Stokely that time.
This penalty will take him back inside the 20.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 14, contacting an official. Number 14 is ejected.
Oh, on top of it, he's tossed.
Wow.
Now they've already lost McKinley, one of the receivers. Eddie Royal is out.
And Brandon Stokely, kind of the move receiver who they put a lot of. Trying to see if he touches. Oh, he hit his arm as he walked away. There's no gray area. You touch the official.
And they took this timeout to give Clifton Smith a chance for a return.
And they ran right into Smith. Clifton Smith was hit on the punt and still lying down. And Dante Wesley ran into him. And now you think these clubs have played each other over the years, even the young kids, and have learned. You just talked about what they showed them.
Yeah, this is always a physical rivalry, and they've run out of flags, so now the officials are even throwing hats to signify penalties.
And there is Aqib Talib, and there's an official trying to keep him out of further trouble, and we already have trouble here.
And that's good preventive officiating right there. And Dante Wesley's going to proclaim innocence, but boy, what a shot did he deliver on Clifton Smith, who had no chance to get to the ball.
Tell you what, this officiating crew just did a superb job.
Fantastic.
In stopping what could have been a total melee into, you know, a kind of a scrum that ended in a hurry. Meanwhile, still down on the field is Clifton Smith.
Now watch, Dante Wesley is the gunner, and Clifton Smith goes and gets set up, and Wesley just lowers the boom on him, and he's going to claim, you know, he's going to proclaim innocence, but this is going to be a real problem for Dante Wesley. I mean, there's nothing there to show that the ball was there, not at all, and that's what led to where we are right now.
And when the Buccaneers saw what Wesley had done, they obviously came to his aid, especially since he wasn't getting up from that injury.
Dick, when your coach, I'm talking about the Buccaneers, shows you film in camp about a team that he says has physically dominated you, and something like this happens, look out.
Fair catch interference, which was also a personal foul. Number 21 of the kicking team. That player, by virtue of his actions, is disqualified for further participation. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And I think, Dick, you mentioned the officiating crew. What a great job they just did there. I think it's the right call. I'm glad to see Clifton Smith up and walking. This is good. But also, the coaching staffs for both teams got involved in helping break up this melee. Everyone got involved to do the right thing.
How can Dante Wesley still be arguing over this?
I don't think that he has an argument. When he sees it on film and the emotions are out of it, he'll understand exactly what happened.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 22. Throw an official out of the direction. He has disqualified himself from the game.
He threw a punch.
And that is the rookie, Harrison Smith, who has been a big part of this defense.
If he threw a punch, even if he doesn't connect, and even if it's open-handed, he has to be ejected, and he'll have to leave the bench area and go shower. He's done for today. He's been disqualified. And that is a huge, huge loss for the Viking defense. Harrison Smith has been playing lights out since the moment this season began, and he has got to call it a day.
This is a guy who has been a huge contributor to the Viking defense, and they are going to miss him.
This play's over right there. There's that. Oh, I see. Oh, he threw the official. He threw the official off himself. And that does it. You can't make aggressive contact with an official.
Well, it really has been, because his defensive line is starting to dominate, and they have to. This goes back to the penalty on Vanden Bosch. You see as he comes around, I mean, you could kind of make the argument that he maybe led with the crown of his helmet, but he hit him in the chest, and I thought it was pretty good. But give this defense credit for coming off of that and making a big stop.
Packers have only 86 yards. But a 7-0 lead as Logan fights to get back to the spot where he originally caught it. 47-yard punt. And now a fight breaks out, and they're going to throw a flag.
It looks like they're going to get the Packers with it, too.
That is a rookie tight end, Ryan Taylor, that was in it. Pat Lee is involved as well. And they threw a flag. Here's the end of it.
A lot of contact is often the case down there, and then they get engaged with each other.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team number 22. Number 22 is disqualified.
And they just threw Pat Lee out of the game.
Well, you knew coming into this game that things would likely get pretty chippy. Of course, you got the Green Bay Packers, who are undefeated, as Mike McCarthy goes into there to get clarification from the officials. But, you know, obviously there's a lot at stake here for the Detroit Lions, and I think some people look at this game and they say, well, it's a foregone conclusion that the Packers are going to win the division. Not if the Lions win this game. I mean, they play them again. There's a lot that can happen here down the stretch between these two teams.
The amazing thing is it was a play action 2-receiver route. So there's all kinds of defensive backs back there, and they still blow the coverage.
Rob Baronis kicking off. Darren Sproles from the 6. Sproles, not much of a lane, squeezes through it, and the spin move brought down at the 33-yard line by Rennie Curran, the rookie on special teams. Flags come down.
I think they're going to get Donnie Nicky for a personal foul here. Number 23 just took a shot at one of the Chargers. And now Bill Levy's going to go over and tell Jeff Fisher what he saw.
There has been a lot of extracurricular activities following the whistle. Bill Levy listened to Jeff Fisher, but it's not going to change his mind.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness for number 23 of the kicking team. Hit the official in the chest. He is ejected.
Wow.
Timeout.
Donnie Nicky, a special teams ace, has been ejected. Nicky making contact with an official, and his day is done here in the fourth.
Well, this is very unusual. In the circle is Bill Levy, our official. 63 is Scott Merchkowski, and on the ground is Donnie Nicky. Nicky gets up because he doesn't like Merchkowski holding him down like that. Levy trying to break things up, and Levy gets a shot to the chest from Nicky. Nicky was not trying to hit Levy, he's trying to hit Merchkowski. Anyway, he is done, as you said, and on his way to a shower.
He's spotted back at the 17-yard line. Mike Goodson has checked in. The Raiders have not scored in their last 26 possessions. Pryor lost it to the end zone. Intended for Streeter, who was well covered. Kaysen was with him step for step. Now we've got a tussle going on, and a marker is down as well.
Yeah, it's Mike Goodson, the running back, who stepped in on pass protection that got tangled up. And now we've got multiple flags all over the field. The first flag was in the end zone for pass interference. As Rod Streeter tried to go up and catch that football. And then in the backfield, after the play was over, Goodson got tangled up with one of the Charger pass rushers.
Well, San Diego may be 6-9 and the Raiders may be 4-11, but it's still the Raiders and the Chargers.
Yes, and there you see it. He's got his hands up, and neither guy wants to let go. That's Takeo Spikes, who's a guy who's played over a decade as middle linebacker. Neither one of those guys is a shrinking violet. I mean, they're going to draw blood in a bar fight. I mean, they're going to walk out pretty much unscathed.
Takeo's 36 years old. Came in needing 2 tackles to reach 100 for the 12th time in his 15-year career. And now let's hear the verdict from John Perry, our referee.
There are 3 fouls on the play that will offset and will replay second down. Pass interference, defense, number 20, personal foul, number 51, personal foul, number 25, number 51, and number 25 have been disqualified.
Wow. You see Takeo Spikes is very unhappy.
You got to calm down.
And I'm surprised that those guys got ejected, because usually you have to throw a punch or do something like that to get ejected. Now Takeo Spikes might add to it. And I agree with both players. Now that's a tussle, no question they lost their tempers, but I didn't see any ejectable offense.
Talking to Spikes.
And Takeo Spikes, in his 12th year, he doesn't get too many more seasons to have one end in this manner. And I really didn't see anything on the replay that warranted an ejection, unless one of them made contact with an official in the melee or something like that. And Takeo Spikes may not cool down till March.
Leader of the San Diego defense, and again was trying to reach 100 tackles for the season for the 12th time in his 15-year career. Goodson goes off fairly quietly. Let's pick up what happened.
Well, that's the beginning of it right there, and it's just, nobody's going to give up. And see,
I don't
nobody's
think
throwing punches.
Yeah, Spikes was not being aggressive there.
Neither one of them. I mean, they're both pushing each other on the face mat, and right there, okay, I don't see why anybody got ejected because of this. And that, I mean, I can see why if they're not going to let up, then you throw the flag and they offset. Okay, so why did anybody get ejected there, let alone both guys? I think that's an overreaction by the officials.
Takeo trying to get the crowd fired up, as if that was necessary with the Raiders in town.
10 interceptions, ties Green Bay with the Giants. The Giants will play later today in America's Game of the Week. Eddie Lacy with a good run. The ball comes loose. The Packers able to recover. At least that was the initial signal. Looks like Brian Bulaga may have recovered this one.
Eddie Lacy fighting for those extra yards, and when you do that, you fall prone to the ball. People are going to attack the ball.
The foul. Defense, number 59. That action also disqualified him from the game.
Oh boy. Luke Kuechly is out of the game. The leader of the Panthers defense.
Let's watch at the end of this play. Richard Rodgers pulls Clay Matthews off and Luke Kuechly off. And Luke Kuechly, he feels like he's getting pulled by players, referees all around him. He pulls real quick to get off, and you can't make contact with the official, but I don't blame him. He's getting pulled in all directions. He's frustrated. They throw him out.
As Luke Kuechly heads off, a terrific young competitor, but
watch, he's pulled by Richard Rodgers off right there. The foul should be on Richard Rodgers, and then he gets pulled again. He doesn't know who's pulling him. He's just saying, get off me. And I think the officials should stop and pause at that point and understand there's a lot of bodies in there. I don't think that's warranted of kicking Luke Kuechly out of this game. He's got no idea that that's an official right there. I don't like that call. I think Luke Kuechly's a clean player, a great player, and that doesn't warrant. I understand you can't make contact with an official, but right there, you got to understand the scenario. He's getting pulled in all directions.
And I think Ron Rivera is arguing that with Jeff Triplett and the other officials. Mike Pereira's in our studio. Mike, what do you think of that situation, the way it unfolded?
I agree with John Lynch totally here. I mean, Kuechly gets pulled off the pile, and then he gets up, and he really doesn't know that it's a former Buffalo safety that has him, by the way, Steve Freeman, and he really kind of swings away. I think you have to look at the whole picture here and not react too quickly. I mean, you can't contact an official, but I think he wasn't mad at the official. He was mad at the player that pulled him out of the pile.
Thanks, Mike.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 70 of the offense. This is his second foul of the same type in the category. He's ejected from the football game.
This is the new rule. 2 fouls. Watch Weston Richburg as he takes a shot at Josh Norman.
Well, how about Beckham right now? I mean, a guy in the last 2 plays get him the ball. I mean, he's ready to make something happen. Looked like he was going to score on the play. Right now they're without Weston Richburg, their center, and that's the new rule that they put in this year, and it came into play in the offseason because of what happened between Odell Beckham and Josh Norman in that game here last, December.
Eagles have punted last 3 times they've had it. Foles keeps it, throws it too high, and he is picked off. They're going to give it to Breland, and Breland is down inside the 35. We'll take another look at it, as will they. Penalty flags at the end of the play. Foles is down, injured, and a fight breaks out. The last thing the league needs right now is some brawl along the sideline here in Philadelphia, and it looks like it's calmed down. But we'll look, as will they, because it's a turnover, at what they called an interception by Breland, but it looked like he did not secure it before the ball hit the ground. Meanwhile, Foles is injured and getting a lot of attention out there at the 30-yard line.
Now, while this is going on, then you see that they're tending to Nick Foles to find out the severity of his injury. We'll see if there's any ejections that take place based on what just happened.
Well, first, let's look at what has been ruled an interception.
Well, Breland, he forgot he's in the NFL. First of all, I mean, he goes to make a play on this, and the question is whether or not he had it. He did not.
I think he doesn't get up and run because he knows he doesn't catch it.
Yeah, well, he turns and tries to show the official
Both
that he
teams
made
are
the play.
directed to their benches.
Look at that. Chris Baker at the end of the play lays into Nick Foles. And they now throw 3 flags down on the field. As Jason Peters, the left tackle, goes right after Chris Baker. After Baker does that right there to Nick Foles. And thankfully Nick Foles is up and looks to be okay. Mike Pereira joins us. Troy, sorry to cut you off from Los Angeles. And well, these officials have got to get control of this football game, Mike.
Well, this is as close to being out of hand as anything I've seen this year. You know, you've got the incomplete pass ruling here. But what you're going to get is all of these fouls. The hit on Foles happens first, but then you have the skirmish and the fight, and likely all of those will offset. It'll go back to incomplete.
Unnecessary roughness. Washington, number 92, hit on the quarterback, and number 92 has been disqualified from the game.
So Baker's out of the game. Mike, you saw what we saw. They initially said interception, but it doesn't look like that was an interception.
After the play was over,
there's the hit that takes Baker out of the game.
Philadelphia, number 71, and number 71, number 71 for Washington, and number 71 is disqualified.
Well, now Washington's lost their left tackle.
Both of these 15-yard penalties will be enforced.
Here's the reaction by Trent Williams as he's been ejected. So Williams is ejected. Baker is ejected from the Washington side. Peters for the moment is still in the ball game. All of that off this, but this followed, Mike Pereira, what looked to be an incomplete pass, even though they ruled it initially an interception.
Right, and that's the part of this now that has to go back is go make this an incomplete pass. And we all see this. Watch the ball go to the ground, hits the ground, so the pass is incomplete. So they'll reverse it to an incomplete pass. Now you got to go back and see what's going to be enforced and what's not going to be enforced. And you've got fouls by both teams. The question then, will it offset? That's what Tony Corrente is going to have to figure out. And he'll get a chance to look at this under the hood and also talk to New York.
Meanwhile, Troy, another ball got away from Nick Foles. He had his receiver wide open on that play.
Yeah, I believe it was a tight end who he had, and the ball just got away from him. That hit by Chris Baker is a hit that the league they took out of the league back in 2002. It was a playoff game between the Chicago Bears and the Eagles. They took out Jim Miller. And they don't want these quarterbacks exposed like that on a change of possession. And Chris Baker takes a shot at him, and that's what initiated the scrum.
Somehow Foles is able to get up where he just got crunched, and for a moment there it looked like it was going to be a serious injury. And now Jay Gruden gets a visit from Tony Corrente as they try to restore order. Chris Baker, the nose tackle, is out.
The previous play will go under review.
There's no doubt that this ball will stay with Philadelphia. Then the question is, how will they mark off these penalties? But that's not an interception. We expect that call to be overturned. We'll get it when we come back. We'll get the call right now from Tony Corrente.
After review, there is no interceptions. The ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It will be Philadelphia's ball, 2nd down and 10 at the 24-yard line. Would the game clock operator please reset the game clock to 10:03. There is also correction on the disqualifications. It was number 92 for Washington and number 71 for Philadelphia have been disqualified.
So that's why there's no penalty enforced, because they called the wrong team. So now Philadelphia loses their all-pro tackle Jason Peters. He's out of the game, and Philadelphia now has no more extra offensive linemen to bring in. They started the game with Kevin Graff, a rookie from USC, not active. The same for Matt Tobin.
play as a result of a penalty may stay in the game.
Matt Tobin's been battling a left ankle injury, and so now the only guy they have, somebody who signed last week, Wade Smith, will come in along the offensive line, and they are out of reserves on the O-line for Philadelphia as Jason Peters, who was sticking up for Nick Foles, gets ejected because of the hit by Chris Baker.
And then on the Titans' first play from scrimmage, DeMarco Murray, 75-yard TD run. More flags.
Yeah, I love that. Taylor Lewan, he's getting after somebody right now. You come in and you make sure you send a message. Now, they've got to be careful because this crew has, was it, Kenny, they have half the ejections?
5 of the 10 ejections in the NFL this season from Jeff Triplett's crew.
So I love the fact right now Taylor Lewan gets up. He's not letting anybody touch his quarterback like that. Everybody's going to be protective of your quarterback in this situation.
Four penalty markers on the field as Triplett and his crew sort things out. There's LaTroy Guion, who made contact with Marcus Mariota.
Wow, looks like Taylor Lewan may have been ejected. He's coming off the field.
There are 3 fouls on the play. Encroachment, number 60, defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, number 68 of the defense. That penalty is accepted, hitting the quarterback after the play is dead. After the play is over, personal foul, number 77 of the offense. Contact with an official, and he is disqualified from the game.
Wow.
We will penalize both 15-yard fouls, and it will be 1st and 25 for the offense.
So Taylor Lewan has been ejected for contact with an official. As we bring in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, what did you see?
It's interesting, obviously something done with the official here as he's trying to break it up. And here's the actual issue. Both of these penalties, 15-yard penalties, are going to be assessed because if there is contact with the game official, that does not count as multiple fouls where you enforce one of the two. Since one involves contact with the official, you're going to get 30 yards worth of penalties here.
The contact was made with the back judge, Steve Freeman.
Yeah, it should be a net zero though, right? We have the neutral zone infraction by LaTroy Guion. Then we have the unnecessary roughness, not on 68, but on 98, LaTroy Guion. And then you have contact with the official. So as Mike Pereira said, that has to be enforced as well. So it should be 15 against Green Bay, 15 back against Tennessee. So it shouldn't be 1st and 25 as announced. It should be 1st and 10.
And as you mentioned, Darryl, this crew leads the league in ejections. This is number 6.
You can see right there, and this was something that when we sat down with Jason McCourty, you know about the officials, this is one of the things he talked to us about.
And Randy Moss has 3 catches for just 23 yards.
Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan getting into it. Handoff for Ward on 3rd and 8. And Ward leaning forward. Flags come down. Oh, there's punching now.
Yeah, Finnegan and Andre Johnson going after it. Both of the helmets were ripped off. And we may have even more action.
Oh, it's continuing. It spills over. It's gotten ugly.
Finnegan was mad about the previous play. He took a shot right away at Andre Johnson, and now they're going to be tossing Andre Johnson out of the game for sure. He'll get the thumb because he connected on a couple of haymakers on Finnegan. Wouldn't be surprised if Finnegan doesn't get an early shower too.
Jeff Fisher on the field trying to help restore order.
Remember, they were going after it on the previous play, and Finnegan instigated it on this play right at the line of scrimmage.
We asked Matt Schaub about the matchup. He said it's always like a street fight when you take on Tennessee. You have to be willing to bloody your nose against them, and we know one another quite well.
Andre Johnson's going to be escorted to the locker room right here by a few of the personnel staff. Casey Studdard as well as the headband.
Andre Johnson's day is over. It was building between him and Finnegan. They've been matched up on one another the entire afternoon.
Yeah, Johnson has gotten the better of Finnegan. 9 catches, 56 yards, 1 touchdown, and now an early shower. Whether Finnegan goes to the locker room as well, we'll have to wait and hear from our officiating crew. Blakeman in the white hat is getting all the input from his fellow Zebras.
Well, we know Finnegan is feisty and physical. He likes to talk out there.
Now, he did his talking with his fist to begin this play as he went right to the face mask of Andre Johnson, knocked his helmet off, and it was on. Finnegan talking to the sideline now, the Texans.
Houston players trying to tell the officials that Finnegan should also be tossed from this game. Clete Blakeman is going to sort it out.
There are personal foul penalties against both teams. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness after the play, number 80 of the offense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 31 of the defense. Both of those players are ejected. It'll be Tennessee's ball at the end of the run. First down.
And that's the right decision. That is the right decision by the officials. Toss them both out because of this action right here. Finnegan gets the first shot, then gets his helmet knocked off. He takes off Johnson, and now Johnson is going to get a couple of good shots in there, or bad shots, if you will. And they're both gone, as well they should be. Boy, you just don't see that in the NFL very often. That uppercut right there landed.
Johnson has been ejected. Finnegan has been tossed from the game as well. Cortland Finnegan believed at that point that it was Johnson that would be tossed out and he would be able to remain in the game. It's not the case.
Now, both of those actions, you know, the shot by Finnegan to begin with, and then taking the helmet off.
Fourth down at the spot here for Houston. Fourth down. They're both dead ball fouls.
And now Blakeman corrects himself. It is fourth down. Now the question is going to be, will there be further ramifications from the league? This is the play before when Johnson and Finnegan got into it. And Johnson has a knack of getting Finnegan's helmet off his head.
Well, and it was the last shot there when Johnson pushed him in the back. They almost go at it right there. And now, just a few seconds later, the helmet comes off again. Finnegan rips off Johnson's helmet. And physically, this is a bit of a mismatch. Johnson goes 228 at 6'3". Finnegan just about 190 pounds. He's got to go, though.
So they will walk Finnegan to the locker room. It's a 4th and 1. Finnegan will jog off and give a wave to the crowd here in Houston. And who knows, this could cost both players another week, depending upon how the NFL deals with it. Timeout.
We started to come on after that 100-yard performance in the win last Sunday.
Foles going end zone, right back to Kelsey, who thought that he was interfered with in the back of the end zone. No flag. Mukamara, who missed on that interception early in the game, was there on the coverage.
Kelsey saying that they turned him and hooked him away from the ball right there. That head around the neck. He was hit before the ball arrived. Now, the official may have said that ball was too high for Kelsey. Oh, Kelsey is hot. Now he's ejected from the game. He's out. There must have been some verbal confrontation. He was hot. In terms of whatever he said to the official is not warranted. And Andy Reid's not going to be happy with this.
We saw the initial flag, and then he continued to jaw. So again,
well, he threw his towel up at the official, and
that's
at that point, the official showed him the showers.
This is the new.
Look at Andy Reid's not happy with that behavior. It's unwarranted. If you're Travis Kelsey, and you got to set a better example, you got to keep your composure and come back and play on the next down.
We saw Eric Berry come over. This is one of the new points of emphasis in the NFL. Players ejected after multiple unsportsmanlike penalties.
Right. So he said something there, and then there's the
multiple fouls
flag
on the offense. Both are unsportsmanlike conduct.
So the initial flag and then the second, and that is an ejection.
You know, such a talented player is Travis Kelsey. I mean, we marvel at his abilities. We said at the beginning, he's got a body like Gronk and hands like Beckham, but he's got to be able to play with greater composure. Can't hurt your football team, and he didn't get the flag. No, he didn't get the call. And it happened last week where he had a great catch. It felt like a great play was taken away from him, but 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on one play, all because he didn't get a call that he thought he should have gotten, and now he's ejected from the game.
So Kelsey ejected at the 11-13 mark.
That was the first catch and carry by Sane. It's 3rd and goal. Rodgers floats it. Driver incomplete. And a little scrum breaks out after the play again. And a flag. We'll see who this is called against, but a good stop by Detroit, and maybe if this is
after
a personal
the play,
foul against
personal
Detroit.
foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 90 for kicking. Number 90 is disqualified.
So not only is this a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, but it will give the Green Bay Packers another shot at getting a touchdown, and Sue is kicked out of the game. Well, they can argue all they want about this one, but he's not going to get to play anymore this afternoon. Here he is at the bottom of that pile. A takedown there. Yeah, there it is. I mean, first of all, as he's trying to get up, Dietrich Smith, he's pushing him with his hand on the helmet. There's the missed throw by Aaron Rodgers. Had an opportunity, but Ndamukong Suh clearly, I mean, kicks him. Officials right there. They make the call. That's his second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty this season, and one that likely is going to really cost his Lions team. B.J. Raji is in the lineup. He had a touchdown carry last week. What a
swing it! See how they play these next few downs. Robert Turbin splits down to the bottom of your screen. Russell Wilson's in trouble and he goes down. Charles Godfrey. Oh my goodness.
Perfect timing to call the blitz.
Now there's a flag down.
Pete Carroll. Settle down, everybody. I think Giacomini swung at somebody, it looked like.
Maybe a Frank Alexander, who Steve Smith is doing a little talking to.
They really tried to focus on getting the instigator this year. I think that's a big point of emphasis with the referees. You know, it's usually been the retaliator that gets it. They're trying to get the instigator.
They're marking it off against the Panthers, and it's going to put the ball at the 40 and give Seattle a first down, the 40 of Carolina.
No, that's a disaster at this point in the game after a big-time momentum play and pushing him back across the 50 to get a bonehead penalty like that.
after the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 90. 15 yards added to the end of the play, and number 90's actually disqualified himself from the game.
Frank Alexander has been ejected, second-year player from Oklahoma.
Do you see Ron Rivera just tell him, get your butt out of here and go to the locker room? There he is on Giacomini. He's pushing him in the face and then throws a left jab.
Triplett caught in the middle of it.
Looked like an open hand hit him in the face. Look at Steve Smith. Everybody telling him, get out of here, man. Boy, he's got to feel awful.
Angela Williams has gained no yards on 8 carries, but Newton back in the game. And Cam Newton's pass caught by Olsen. And Olsen will be about 4 or 5 yards shy of the first down, but it's time for a game break, and let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, thank you, Dick. And Tom Brady looking for Rob Gronkowski, but he doesn't find him. Antonio Allen, first pick of his career, 21-17, Jets coming back.
Meanwhile, we've had fisticuffs break out here at the 40-yard line. A long way from where the line of scrimmage was, and it hasn't ended. And in the middle of it is Steve Smith. Helmets are on the field, and they're still going at it. And 3 flags go up simultaneously. What triggered this, you wonder? And Chris Long coming off. Going to check out Jordan Gross, the left tackle, and Robert Quinn, the defensive end.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how they sort this out, because this started out with just 2 guys kind of pushing and shoving.
Gross and Quinn may have started this whole fracas.
Well, this is just kind of after the play, the push and the shoving should be done there, but now we got 4-on-1.
Personal foul. Defense number 91.
And then now it just continues to escalate.
His actions, he's been disqualified from the game.
Chris Long has been disqualified. Personal foul called against Long, and he has been tossed from the game.
And I don't know that we've seen the incident that's specific here, right here. Long's in the middle of it. What prompted his being ejected compared to anybody else? You can see they're trying to pull him off here. Darian Stewart in there trying to pull their best defensive lineman off. The damage has already been done. The frustration of having them in a third and medium. I'm talking about St. Louis now with their backup quarterback in the game, jumping off sides, now leaving themselves vulnerable. Now inside the 20-yard line, I think we might be seeing a little of the frustration of the St. Louis Rams, recognizing their situation, down 17-5 here in the third quarter.
And one of the fans threw something out on the field, which is totally inexcusable, as Chris Long, being escorted off the field, has been disqualified. And it all started with Gross and Long. Steve Smith was also involved. Let's see the play before the fight with Long and now Steve Smith.
Yeah, they're jawing back and forth subtly right here, but you don't want to get into a war of words with Steve Smith, that old veteran right now.
1st and 10 at the 22 now of Oakland. Mendenhall in the backfield, shotgun for Roethlisberger. Looking long, caught by Sanders. Touchdown Steelers. A perfectly thrown ball by Roethlisberger, and Sanders with the catch.
And a fight. Flags are thrown this time.
22-yard touchdown. Roethlisberger slow to get up. Richard Seymour was right in the middle of it.
Now, Richard Seymour, he may be facing a fine for this one.
On this dead ball action. The
Maybe
first
an
is
ejection.
against Oakland. Personal foul. Number 93 has ejected himself from the game for his actions. Personal foul against Pittsburgh, number 68. Open-handed slap to the head, 15-yard penalty. Both of these fouls will offset. The score is good, and they will offset on the kickoff.
Roethlisberger saying something to Seymour that he didn't like, and that will get Seymour ejected from the game. Punching Roethlisberger right in the chops there. He's getting checked out on the sidelines. It was not Tommy Kelly. It was Richard Seymour. Kimiwatu was called for a personal foul, but was not ejected.
Well, Seymour remains on the field. Tom Cable's trying to figure out, who did you eject from the game? You said 93. Is it 92 or 93? They're both still on the field, Seymour and Kelly.
You going to go and tell Seymour he's got to leave?
That's not going to come from me.
Not my job.
And now Mike Tomlin wants an explanation. He knows that it was Seymour that was the one that got involved with Roethlisberger.
23 is Jeremy Ware, the rookie from Michigan State. Great throw, great catch by Sanders as he bounces into the end zone.
Second touchdown in as many weeks.
And the fans just saw on the big board, replay board here, the punch by Seymour. And maybe they will tell Seymour he's got to go.
There is a correction. After discussion with the other officials, it was number 92 from Oakland who's ejected.
So it will be Seymour. And his day is done at the 1:26 mark of the second quarter. Roethlisberger, the celebration. And there's the pop from Seymour. Richard Seymour, 5-time Pro Bowler, the 10-year veteran. He's been a leader of this defense. Cameron Wimbley telling us that a lot of guys look up to Seymour. He doesn't say a whole lot, but when he talks, it has an impact. And there's a feeling within the Oakland defense that in games we don't want to let him down, is what Wimbley said.
I think Seymour just let his team down. Short walk to the locker room for an early shower.
For the Cowboys, who got stung toward the end of the first half after Mike Vanderjagt missed a 26-yarder. Vince Young led a drive, ending up with a field goal as time ran out. Bullock is back in there now. And it's second down and goal. Here's Jones. Julius Jones into the end zone for the touchdown.
Dallas offensive line just manhandling them defensive linemen for Tennessee right now.
And a flag is down, thrown into the end zone. 5-yard run for the score, and it appears to be against the Titans. And an injured player, Andre Gerard, seems to be shaken up. The Cowboys center, who's having a big year. And now tempers flaring momentarily.
Well, you had a couple of guys from the Dallas Cowboys trying to motion to the sideline to get the medical staff out there quickly.
Here is Jerome Bogert and Jeff Fisher. They're going to have Albert Hainsworth may have been tossed from the game, and Jeff Fisher all over Hainsworth, and that is a guy that the Titans can ill afford to lose. Meanwhile, the attention is on Andre Gerard, who has really had a terrific season up front for the Cowboys, still being tended to.
There are 2 fouls on the scoring play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 92, for stomping the player's helmet. We also have an additional penalty for throwing his helmet to the ground. That player is disqualified. Both penalties will be enforced on the kickoff.
Hainsworth has been disqualified and walks off. Right there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's uncalled for, man.
That is unbelievable.
And there's Gerard with a towel to his head, and Hainsworth has been disqualified.
I tell you what, you're on a grass field, so you've probably got 7 stud cleats on out there on top of that. This is an AstroTurf where it's a rubber bottom shoe.
Mike Vanderjagt for the extra point. And the Cowboys now lead by a score of 21-6. Here's the touchdown by Julius Jones, his second of the year on the ground. Cowboys scoring to make it 21-6, but the main story there, Albert Hainsworth called for unsportsmanlike conduct, and the conduct should result in a fine or suspension when you take a look at it, and then was tossed out of the game. So the interception thrown by Vince Young, and the Cowboys quickly take advantage of it. And the onside kick fielded at the 6-yard line by Pac-Man Jones, and Jones is tackled at the 11-yard line. Well, you don't often see what we're going to show you coming out of the break. We'll be right back. Early here in the third quarter, Dick Stockton, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa, first down on the 11-yard line. And the handoff to Chris Brown. Sometimes you have to keep your emotions in check in football. We have a flag down back at the 10-yard line.
You see here at the end of this play what happens. Here's Albert Hainsworth. Takes the helmet off once and then comes back again to Andre Gerard on the ground. Now this is a game that's physical, it's competitive, but you have to have respect for the game and respect for your opponent. And the league will find guys for uniform violations, they'll suspend them for banned substances. But there is no place in the game for that type of action. The league needs to send a message to all the players and take action against Albert Hainsworth in a way that never, ever happens again.
Tony Effie.
Quick pass, goal line. The two-point conversion is there. Randall Cobb once again. And this game has officially gone to Chippy as penalty markers fly.
Well, they're going to get Wilkerson for throwing punches.
And there's a helmet that's being removed. More penalty flags. Sheldon Richardson walking off the field without his helmet.
More likely than not, there may end up being a couple guys thrown out here for throwing punches.
Walt Anderson has a little deciphering to do on the field as the officials get together.
Well, that was always the confusing part to me when guys are throwing punches and they're wearing their helmets, so you're basically just hitting them in the helmet.
Well, it looked like someone removed Sheldon Richardson's helmet for him.
Well, I think that was tight end Andrew Corliss for the Packers. He's the one that had a hand in the face mask and was carrying it around, and he may ultimately be taken off the field as well. Although he didn't throw a punch, so
he's got that going.
So he's got that going for him. He's got a jet helmet, but
here's Walt Anderson.
There are two fouls on the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 91 of the defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 96 of the defense. That penalty will be enforced. Number 96 is disqualified.
Wow, so Muhammad Wilkerson has been tossed out of the game.
Well, and Wilkerson was the one that was, as I said, inexplicably, you can see him right here. He throws a punch, and he comes back and he'll throw another one right there.
Let's take a break.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Miller Lite. Back in its original look, it's Miller time. And by Wendy's.
5:45 to play in now a contentious third quarter, and let's go back and take a look. And it starts with, looks like Sheldon Richardson, number 91, right there.
And now we know why Corliss took his helmet off. He had his helmet grabbed first.
Now number 96, Muhammad Wilkerson, throwing lefts and rights at Josh Sitton, and that cost him the rest of the game.
He's smiling now, but that fine check that comes in the middle of the week, that isn't going to be good. That isn't going to be anything to smile about.
1st and 10 Seahawks. Robert Turbinen gets the football, and the Rams are on him as he gets down to the 10. Ogletree, who has forced 6 fumbles and still getting into it.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Triplett's got to start threatening some ejections on some of these guys, and you got to get control of this football game. Whether you got to go talk to each coach individually, talk to the players, you got to start threatening some ejections for some of these extracurricular after the play activities.
Well, we had a play in the first half, 4 penalties on 1 play. Here comes a flag late, and the Rams, they've been talking too much. Here comes another flag.
Everybody loves a good fight. This is ugly.
See the official telling the Seahawk players to stay on your side of the ball for now.
Pete Carroll telling them to huddle up.
Sportsmanship should not be lost in all of this.
That's right.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 52 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal, it'll be a first down. Also, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 98 of the defense. Contact with an official. That is half the distance to the goal as well, and his actions disqualified himself from the game.
You had to figure that was coming.
So Langford has been ejected.
Oh, he totally didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
Stuck his arm out and hit the back judge right in the cap, knocked his helmet off.
But I think in the bigger picture, the officiating crew is thinking what you said. We're going to start throwing guys out of the game.
Kendall's like, I didn't know you were there. I was just pushing my hand out to the right.
It's a lot of people standing around. But the Rams defense should be focusing on the play and not chatting with officials. Not arguing. They're losing the battle and the war here. It'll be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line of the Rams.
Kendall Langford still doesn't know why he's gone. And you watch him right here, number 98. They're talking. Now he's going to reach his hand out. And there's where he contacts the official.
And one official was behind him, Tim. Another one was working his way in. But there were 2 penalties against the Rams. He just threw his helmet, and here comes another flag. They might start assessing. I don't know how much closer you can move him to the goal line.
Probably costing him a lot of coin right now, too, Chris, with this reaction.
It's not just the Seahawk team or the officials. He's feeling the crowd, too.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 98 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal is still first down.
If that door could slam.
See, he still doesn't even know why he's out. Now he just realized if you're gone, bud, you got to leave the field.
Yeah, but you don't slam your helmet down. 3 penalties on 1 play.